Hey, yesterday was a super day for billionaires. Nation of Change. Are you familiar with their website? You should check it out. Nation of Change had as a intro to an article yesterday this, quote, "It's going to be a billionaire Thanksgiving. Wealth of the U.S. richest just hit $1 trillion since the start of the pandemic." Well, what is going on here? Of course, you may be aware of this without having to read the Nation of Change article, but over the last 40 years, and it's even more apparent during the COVID-19 pandemic, but wealth inequality in the United States has intensified. This is what Trump is always talking about. Look at the stock market, hit 30,000. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. Since the pandemic began back in March, the wealth of the richest billionaires just hit $1 trillion. Now, if this is not an obscenity, then there is no such thing. Okay, economic obscenity. This is horrifying. Now, according to this website, inequality.org, some of the biggest gains that have been made during the time when 12 million of us have gotten sick and approaching a third of a million of us are dead. Here are some of the big gains. Elon Musk's wealth grew over $100 billion in the last 8 months since the start of the pandemic. His wealth grew from $24.6 billion in March to $126 billion on November 24th, 3 days ago. That's an increase of 413%. And of course, that was boosted by his stock in his electric car company, Tesla. His wealth now surpasses Bill Gates' wealth of Microsoft. Jeff Bezos' wealth grew by almost $70 billion. His wealth now stands at $184 billion. One man. And Dan Gilbert, you probably have heard his ads for Quicken Loans. How do you escape them? But he saw his wealth rocket by over $37 billion in 8 months. He went from $6.5 billion net worth in March to $44 billion on November 24th, an increase of 575%. Now, some people might say, well, Mike, that should be celebrated. No, it shouldn't. It should be condemned, cursed. It should be, we should be ashamed that we live in a society, in an economic society that produces that kind of obscenity. Because that news comes at a time when 26 million Americans are not getting enough food to eat. No, seriously. 26 million Americans, twice the size of New York City in terms of population, are not getting enough food to eat. And the pandemic is worsening, according to the Washington Post. One of the experts, a scholar of inequality, who keeps tabs on these numbers, these facts, his name is Chuck Collins. He writes, quote, "The increases in billionaire wealth continue to defy gravity and the real economy, where millions have lost their jobs, their health, and their livelihoods." End quote. This is what I'm talking about. Now, I know a lot of this is invisible to most Americans. The hunger, the poverty, the inequality, the sickness. Oh, we see it on the news at night, right? Oh, look at the food lines. Oh, my God, look at that. Isn't that awful? Anyway, some of these corporations and billionaires are also featured in another report of even more greed. And according to Nation of Change, as they continue to profit, the frontline workers remain expendable and are compensated unfairly. Now compare, if you want, you don't have to, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, to people who are working in hospitals. And I don't care what they're doing there. They could be a neurosurgeon or somebody who, cleans the bedpans. It doesn't make any difference. They're frontline workers. They're right on the front line of this battle with this hideous coronavirus. And how are they doing financially? Huh? They doing okay? No. Starting in March and April, these companies that hire and maintain these frontline workers offer their workers additional compensation, sometimes called hazard pay or thank you bonuses. And some of these bonuses added as much as $2 to the employee's hourly wage. Hey, so instead of $17 an hour, $19. Oh, my goodness sakes. Thank you for putting your life on the line every day. Here's $2. Would you also like a cookie? According to Public Citizen, $2 hourly wages. Other companies have offered occasional lump sum bonuses to some of their workers. Well, here you are, Ruth or Ralph or Isidore or Susan. Here you are. What's this? It's a bonus for what you've been doing. $50. Now, I know there is an idea that, hey, keep your nose in your own finances, Malloy, or anybody else. Why are you checking somebody else's money? Well, it's obvious why. We live in a country where tens of millions of us simply do not have enough to eat. What do I keep saying? Hearing on television? I say hearing because I listen to it in the car, but 1 in 6 children are food deficient. I think that's a new marketing term, food deficient. 1 in 12 old people. What? That can't be, but it is, isn't it? That's us. That's the United States. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.